Look, let us be totally honest with ourselves right now. You are sitting there dreaming about financial freedom, but your bank account is looking like an absolute desert. And you keep telling yourself that you just need that one lucky break, that one magic investment, or some crazy 100 times crypto coin to save your life. Let me drop a massive truth bomb on you right now. You do not have an opportunity problem. You have a capacity problem. And that is the brutal reality. Nobody else will tell you because they want to sell you a fake dream. I remember waking up on a freezing Tuesday morning back in December, staring at the ceiling of a dusty gym floor where I was sleeping, with exactly $1,243 left in my entire checkings account, drinking the absolute cheapest 50-cent instant black coffee that tasted like burnt dirt, while the news on my cracked phone screen was talking about another massive inflation spike. Fast forward to today, and that exact same brain built a portfolio of companies that just cleared north of $250 million last year. And I am not telling you this to brag. I am telling you this because I am on a dead serious mission to get this next generation of hungry men and women to make their first $100,000. Because once you actually participate in this economy, you start believing in capitalism, and that changes your entire lineage forever. So what do you actually do when you are completely lost and have no clue what your next move should be? Principle number 1 is that you build capacity when you have absolutely nothing else to do, which means you prepare your entire life before the opportunity even shows up at your door. Think about it like this. If you have no idea what business you are going to start tomorrow, you should still go to bed on time tonight at precisely 9 p.m. instead of doom scrolling until 3 a.m., because at least you will be fully rested, which is building physical capacity. You can get your body into absolute peak physical shape when you do not even have any hot dates lined up. Because being fit will maximize your confidence the exact second that opportunity strikes. You must save every single dollar you can right now, even when you have no clue where you are going to invest it. Because when a massive investment opportunity, you will actually have the cold hard cash sitting in your account to take immediate action. The funniest thing about life is that life-changing opportunities present themselves to literally everyone every single day, but only the people who already built the capacity can both recognize them and capitalize on them. Do not be that broke guy sitting up in the cheap bleachers when the absolute fattest baseball pitch comes right down the middle. You want to be standing directly at the home plate, you want to have already practiced your swing 10,000 times, and you want to be ready to rip it out of the stadium. Let me give you a crazy scientific case study from Princeton Graduate School that will drive this point directly into your skull. And it is called the Good Samaritan Study. They took a group of young seminary students who genuinely saw themselves as deeply moral, holy people who were actively studying to become priests, and they asked them to write a comprehensive, detailed paper on the biblical story of being a good Samaritan, and then go present it to a huge crowd. Now, here is where the researchers got creative. They separated these holy students into 3 distinct groups to walk across the campus. On their way to give this big presentation, there was this incredibly narrow, dark hallway inside the old auditorium, and right in the middle of that hallway, the researchers placed an actor who had collapsed on the floor, coughing, groaning, and clearly needing emergency medical help. Group 1 consisted of students who were told they were running 10 minutes late for their presentation. Group 2 was told they were exactly on time, and Group 3 was told they were 10 minutes early. Now, guess what correlation those students had between how moral they rated themselves in their essays and the actual likelihood that they would stop to help this dying man? I will tell you the exact number. It was absolute 0, because their self-righteous words meant nothing. Do you know what had the highest, most undeniable correlation with whether they stopped to help a human being in pain? It was literally just how late they were running to their meeting. The statistical difference between the group that was 10 minutes early and the group that was 10 minutes late was a massive 6 times difference in who stopped to actually help the person. The reason this is so wildly important for your financial life right now is that there are incredible million-dollar opportunities flying past you this exact second, but you cannot even recognize them because your brain is running late, your finances are stressed, and you have 0 capacity to do anything about it. So, let us talk about the most tactical way to build capacity right now. Which brings us to principle number 2, which is saving cold hard cash. If you do not know what stocks to buy, or if you are terrified of the stock market volatility, just save your money in a boring high-yield account because money buys you time, and time buys you absolute optionality. Let us get incredibly tactical about your daily budget right now, and let us look at your actual lifestyle categories with 0 sugarcoating. First category is food, and that means you do not eat out at fancy restaurants. You do not order delivery on your phone, and you do not buy $5 lattes for any reason whatsoever. If you are hungry outside of your house, you just deal with the hunger until you get home, and you only buy raw ingredients from deep discount grocery stores like Aldi, because eating chicken and white rice for 6 months straight will not kill you, but being broke definitely will. Second category is clothing, and whatever clothes you have sitting in your closet right this second is 50 times more than enough to last you for the next 2 full years, with absolutely zero exceptions. You wear those same 3 plain t-shirts until they have actual holes in them. You trade with your buddies, or at the absolute worst, you go spend $3 at a Goodwill thrift store, because nobody cares about your designer logos when your net worth is zero. Third category is housing, and you need to live as cheaply as humanly possible, which ideally means moving directly back into your parents' basement, or worst case scenario, renting a tiny space with another broke family who is also trying to aggressively save money. If you are young and you say none of your friends have families with space, that is totally fine. Then all 6 of you guys need to bunk up together in one sketchy apartment, share the rent, and split bedrooms if you have to. Back in the absolute earliest days of my career, it cost me only about $350 a month to keep my lights on and keep myself alive. Because I was splitting a tiny single bedroom inside a rundown 6-bedroom house with a bunch of dudes. Now, when you cut all those superficial living costs, you are left with the ultimate cost, which is your actual time cost. I need you to look at your daily time exactly like a high-return financial asset. So stop doom scrolling on social media for 3 hours a day, and start capitalizing on the 2 distinct 4-hour windows you have outside of your normal day job. I am talking about your 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. block in the morning and your 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. block in the evening, which gives you 8 full hours every single day to build your future. Those 8 hours are the exact space where you are going to get ahead of the rest of the world, because your normal 9-to-5 job pays for your current rent. But those extra 8 hours are what you use to plan, prepare, and build your tomorrow. This leads us directly into principle number 3, which is adding high-value skills and continuously practicing them until you are elite. Now that you are living like a monk and saving all this extra cash from your job, where do you actually spend that money? Do not put it into some speculative stock. I highly recommend spending every single dollar of your excess cash on acquiring hard skills until you physically cannot find any more skills to buy. You need to aggressively increase your personal capacity to earn money, which instantly increases the value of the highest cash-producing asset on the planet, which is you. The most beautiful thing about skills in the year 2026 is that skills are completely inflation-proof, and they can never be devalued by a central bank. Whether the global economy is trading in Bitcoin, United States dollars, or seashells in some weird future scenario. If you possess the hard skills to provide real value to a business, people will gladly exchange their money for your services. So if you are constantly stressing about artificial intelligence taking over the world, the only logical step you can take is to double down on your personal skills and make your mind entirely indispensable. You have to realize that learning a new skill will never hurt you. It is always entirely additive to your life, even when you pay for a course or a mentor that turns out to be absolute trash. You still win, because winners win no matter what cards they are dealt. How can you take a bad experience and actually get better from it? Simple. If I learn exactly what not to do from a terrible business owner, then I still learned a massive lesson. And if that changes my future behavior in a way that makes me more likely to succeed, then I just got significantly better. If you train your brain to look at the entire world through that specific lens, then every single event serves your growth rather than you serving the event. Let me give you a basic real-world analogy of how skill stacking works from a creative perspective, and let us look at Jay-Z because everyone knows his story. Jay-Z started out as a rapper, and now he is a billionaire businessman who dominates massive industries. In the absolute beginning of his life, he was probably just born with a natural sense of musical rhythm, which by itself is not actually that valuable of a skill. Then, he took that rhythm and learned how to rap over a beat, which made him a bit more valuable. Then, he learned how to write deep, impactful lyrics, which made him stand out from every other local rapper on the block. Next, he realized nobody was going to hand him a record deal, so he learned how to sell CDs directly out of the trunk of his car on the street corner. And then he mastered the art of marketing. Look at how each individual skill stacks on top of the last one to make the entire package worth millions of dollars. A guy who just has rhythm is a dime a dozen. A guy who can rap is slightly better. But a guy who can rap, write lyrics, sell face-to-face, and market a brand nationally becomes an absolute unstoppable force. He then learned how to recruit other talented artists, market their music, and build an iconic record label, which magnified his wealth by a factor of 100. Let us translate this exact same skill stacking logic into a boring financial example that you can use today. Maybe you are a young kid who is naturally quite good at basic math, which by itself pays about $15 an hour. Then, you decide to learn the specific rules of bookkeeping, which is immediately more valuable than just knowing arithmetic. Then, you spend a year studying how corporate accounting actually works, and suddenly you can read a balance sheet. Then, you master the complex tax codes, and suddenly you can save a local business owner $50,000 a year in legal deductions. Do you need math to do taxes? Yes, you do. Do you need accounting to optimize taxes? Absolutely, every single skill stacks together to create massive leverage. And then if you stack corporate insurance and mergers and acquisitions on top of that, you become a high-level consultant making $500,000 a year. You do not look back at your second-grade math teacher as an idiot, just because you are now performing complex calculus, because you absolutely needed that basic arithmetic in order to comprehend the calculus later. So wherever you are currently standing on this financial journey, stop crying about why you are not a millionaire yet, because you still have to methodically move through the fundamental steps. How fast you move through those steps depends entirely on how quickly you change your daily behavior. Principle number 4 for building massive capacity before you even have a business idea is to build a loyal audience without having a product to sell them. What does that actually mean in practice? It means you do not need a manufactured product to start posting content online. You just need to capture people's attention, because attention is the ultimate financial leverage in the modern economy. If you can build a small group of human beings who know you, like you, and deeply trust your word, even when you have zero products for sale, you are effectively building a massive reservoir of potential financial energy. If you were theoretically the #1 most followed person on this planet, the exact day you launched any business, it would instantly become a $100 million smashing success overnight, simply because of the sheer volume of attention. Now, you might be sitting there saying that you do not have any proof or any massive wealth to show people yet. And of course you don't, because you haven't actually done anything significant yet. But what you can do right now is put in an insane volume of real work and document every single step of that messy process online. For the world to see, you either need to show the world epic proof of your massive success, or you need to show them an epic level of daily effort. Look at the fitness industry as a perfect example, where a guy will post a video saying he is exactly 6 months out from his very first physical competition, and he looks totally average on day 1. It does not matter at all where you start your journey. Because if you do something genuinely epic and document the sheer volume of work you do along the way, people will naturally flock to follow your story.